First, get you a little chapstick and a little sip of water. We hydrate on this show. If you don't know where you are, this is Gregory the Podcast. I'm your host, Gregory, and I've got something to say. So, we're probably going to title this one, I Am, I Can't, I Believe. Most of the time when we're starting out in our spiritual journey, be that a religion or some sort of ATR or ancestral practice, whatever you choose, one of the first lessons you constantly hear is you have to change your mindset. You've got to think this way or that way, or be logical or empathetic. Now, as someone who believes in the power of the tongue, which we'll get into later, I started with controlling my I ams. And well, because most people never mention the I can'ts, I didn't do anything with them. Because no one wants to breathe life into those things, right? But our I can'ts are rooted in just as much faith as our I ams. And the most drastic of ways is often how we curse ourselves. Let me be your example for a moment. So a few weeks ago, I had been trying to type out, write out, do voice notes, anything for the podcast. And because I kept telling myself, I don't have anything to say, because I'm so used to freestyling my content, I created a structural block of sorts. And sure enough, every time I sat my ass down, I was like, damn, I don't have nothing to say. Now, when I finally did have something to say, of course, I wrote a better example. And let's get into that right now. So take, for example, the first few times that you come into dealing with self-belief is like when you're a toddler. And it's when you're about to take that jump off the couch or off the bathroom sink and you don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to make it? Am I going to get hurt? Will I get in trouble? See, in the split second it took you to jump off your chosen danger station, if you will, you mitigated the risk, took a deep assessment, and jumped as far and as hard as you could. Now, after each jump, of course, we collect data and we decide what jumps are worth the risk. Imagine spending your entire life taking calculated risks because you knew you could make the jump. Did you really risk anything? As adults, those calculated risks are based off I ams and I can'ts, things we supposedly can prove. Which leads us to plateau periods. And while plateau periods aren't inherently bad, you're supposed to recognize that you're unknown, be grateful for the things that you have accomplished while at that point, and gain the skill set and belief that you can take a bigger jump the next time. But because of comfort in your plateau periods, we often feed the many faces and names of I can't, because it's easier to say, I don't have time, I don't feel like it, I'll do it tomorrow. Even the most famous, I'll start on the first. I'm not here to bash you or judge you, mostly just here to say, you're not alone, we've all been there. Even Moses told God, get somebody else to do it. He may have not said it in those words because, TikTok wasn't there then, but he did say, once being asked to free the people, he did say, sir, I am slow of speech and of tongue. God told him, who has made man's mouth? Who makes him mute, deaf, seeing, or blind? Is it not I? Therefore go, and I will teach you what to say. Now, with that brief passage, I pose to you a question, and it's really a very simple one. That idea that's been hanging out in the back of your mind, half started, or you told yourself you couldn't do it, it was too much work, or you'll start tomorrow. You still think you can't do it? The man told him, get someone else to do it. I speak slowly. That same man went on to part the Red Sea. Because we are what we believe about ourselves and what we believe we will become. So speak life into that rather than, curse yourself and say you can't do it. I challenge you to. And if you don't know where you've been, this has been Gregory the Podcast. I'm your host, Gregory, and that's been my something to say.